It's a good evening indeed, for it's Good Friday tonight. As we usher in this Easter season, it is with great delight that I welcome you on tonight's Friday show. Now, despite the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, registering 5 new cases today, there is hope with 22 patients recovered. As the weekend kicks in, there has been good news earlier this week for the creatives and artists. Tonight, we explore the 100 million shilling dose. Join in on the conversation on social media and include the hashtag hashtag Friday on @TV47 or on my page, that's @Lucy_Riley. You can also send in a text message to 22047 and I'll sample some of your responses. Now, we'll take a look at Twitter, Facebook and Instagram and what you've been responding to us throughout the day. And our question has been, what's your opinion about the 200 million shilling per month that will be paid to musicians and additional 100 million from the sports fund to actors, artists and musicians? Now, I've got @Gibson Amenya. Thank you so much for watching. You say that it's a good start. Hope more sports federation will have to learn from here. Challenge has been poor document keeping from other federation. Now, definitely we'll discuss more into that. Virginia Ndanu says actors earn money. That money they will be paid should be used to support the needy. Very interesting right there. Let's cross over to Facebook, our Facebook page. Remember, as the show continues, you can still engage and interact with us on our social media. So Gadu with Skylink Olkalau says the money will go to Tamco Sako organization group. So of course you can let me know, you can actually interact with us and tell us a little bit about that. Robinson Bosire says it's really absurd. How I wish the nurses and doctors were the ones who were to get this 100 million shillings, even if it will mean 1,000 shillings per each, which I assume that's each person. It's sensible rather than to the so-called entertainers. Mr. President made a great error in doing this. Wow, very deep indeed. Now let's move on. David Onserio says, not too sure the government has its priorities right. Are musicians and artists the most in need at this time? Now, these limited resources should be channeled to the rural poor and those in informal settlements. Secondly, from an economic standpoint, the government should lower the levels of tax on coffee and tea farmers as a way of allowing them to have more disposable income in their possession. When they have no money, they will buy more and spread their wealth around. So definitely that's quite the comment. Now, William says he's tuned in. Thank you so much for tuning in, William. Moses Kibet says it's right, but they have also to consider other Kenyans who live hand to mouth. Remember, you can still interact with me on all these platforms right here, and we'll get to sample and answer some of these questions. Now, before we get started, we'd like to take a look at what His Excellency the President Uhuru Kenyatta earlier on addressed the nation on Monday the 6th regarding this same topic, and have a look at what exactly he meant.
The Ministry of ICT, Innovation and Youth Affairs, in collaboration with the Kenya Copyright Board, the Collective Management Organization, have established the framework I asked them to do in January to ensure full transparency for artists' earnings. Last year, the combined payments made out to our local artists for the year did not exceed 200 million Kenya shillings. As a result of the initiative that my government has taken, starting this month, all our local artists will be earning a total of Kenya shillings 200 million per month that will be paid to musicians through the system and other platforms that we have developed. This shall translate this year to over Kenya shillings 2 billion going into the pockets of our young artists and young Kenyans. These payments will begin this week in line with the pledge that I made in January. I also further direct the Ministry of Sports, Culture and Heritage to avail an additional support of Kenya shillings 100 million from the Sports Fund to our artists, actors and musicians during the period of the COVID-19 pandemic so that they may continue to entertain their fellow brothers and sisters through.
Right, very interesting speech there indeed. And while it seems like relief to others, they think otherwise. So I'm joined on Skype by a panel of gentlemen right here. And I'll just start with introducing who I am joined by. And thank you so much. I'll start from my nearest left. That's Bonai, chairman of Nairobi Musicians Association and also an artist. Karibu Sana, how are you doing this evening?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. Then I have Kenzo Matata, the Kenzo Matata, musician as well. How are you doing? You look really sharp tonight.
Thank you. I just had to do it for you. It's this night. But thank you for having me.
All right, fantastic. And then I've got Mr. Anthony Karani, who's the chairman of CAMP, which is Kenya Association of Music Producers, which is one of the CMOs in Kenya. Good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening. I'm okay.
Yes.
Being wonderful. Yes.
Good Friday and happy holidays, even though it doesn't quite seem like a holiday. Now let's just dive right into it. Mr. Karani, is this 100 million shillings being given as a kind gesture from the president as royalties or from licensing? Could you clarify on that first?
Okay. For the 100 million the president promised is money that is coming as a kind gesture from the Ministry of Culture and Sports.
Right.
Money that had been there's a treaty for that comes from betting and the likes. So that money is a kind gesture, is money that was to be given to whoever the president directed. I'm not sure who it is, but it's money that was given as a kind gesture.
It's interesting that you said you're not too sure who it is, and we want to understand who exactly is eligible for this money, because it says in the articles and in his speech that they are artists, musicians, and actors. But we don't quite understand this, especially when it comes to artists. Could you clarify, perhaps yourself, Mr. Karani, or with the help of Bonai?
Actually, that's my issue, because there have been various interpretations of the artists, especially on social. So really, I'm also confused as to what the definition of artist. Kenzo can help us.
All right. Perhaps I can hear from Bonai now. For clarity, who qualifies to be called an actor, a musician? Does it include or not include influencers, sculptors, dancers, backup singers?
Well, as per my understanding of artists, an artist is even the painter, the person who's out there in the streets making artwork that you hang in your house. That is an artist as well. But I'm not sure why Mr. Karani, our chairman, is referring to the 100 million as a kind gesture. Yeah. According to the sports fund, the kitty, this 20% is actually supposed to be allocated to the arts, actors, and musicians, as the president has directed. So it's money that is always there. So I don't know why it's being paid now, it's being given now. I don't know why or where it's been going before that. I don't know why it's not been given, it's not been promised next year and the year after that. So I want to believe, and not just as a musician or an artist. So when you come to the definitions, it needs to be defined, and the right people to define, actually people like Camp, Kekobo, come to us and tell us, okay, this is what is defined as artists, musicians, and whoever. But the art industry is actually so informal that right now you don't have enough, you can't actually categorize people. You don't know who is in the arts, who's not, who's a ghost musician, who is not. Because especially now, just joining a CMO, all you need is a single out or a song. So you go with that, register yourself. You're eligible for you automatically eligible for the 100 million or a share. I want to make 2 points clear. There's a misconception online or from people have had. The 200 million, and I want Mr. Karani to jump on this as well later. The 200 million is actually projections of the government of what the industry is worth on collection of royalty. Okay? It's not a blank figure. It didn't just wake up and decide, no, the industry should be making 200 million or can make 200 million. So it's money that the government, through Kekobo, should ensure is collected for distribution. And as the president said, so that ensures that you're stable, you have money, you can actually walk to a bank. And that's what the problem with artists are. Walk to a bank with your bank statement and ask for a loan, because you're sure that every month you'll be getting something. It's like a payslip. Okay? I want to thank Mr. Karani as well when you were here, because we have received some money from CAMP. So what I'll do, and from Prisk as well, so what I'll do, I'll wait for the statement. As artists, I want to encourage every artist out there, get involved with your money. Question, okay? Like now I've received 7,000 from CAMP. I want the logs. I want to know, where is this 7,000 coming from? Who's paid? I employ CAMP. I employ Kekobo. I employ MCSK and Prisk. So I'm an employer. And I have the right to ask these questions. Okay, you're paying me 7,000. What is the basis of this?
Right, that's a very good question. And
thank you.
Right, sorry. Right, we want to answer that question later on as we trickle in, of course, from Mr. Karani. But I want to hear now from Kenzo. Kenzo, have you received this money, or have you followed up on the monies themselves at the moment?
Yes. Personally, I've received from Prisk. I'm yet to receive from CAMP and MCSK. But again, to my learned friend, Mr. Karani, right?
Yes.
I find it alarming that you actually cannot differentiate, as in Izo Stories are Sani. I find it alarming that you're in office and you cannot differentiate all that. That's just me anyway. But as Bonner said, he's practically said it all. But just to add on a few things, first of all, it is not a good gesture from the president. It is, as in, I appreciate that Amisema, but this is our money. Like this is a money that has been there and so the president has become a kaona. Like, artists are suffering right now because most of our shows have been cancelled. We're not getting like legit money because as artists, we practically live from hand to mouth, most of us. If you don't get a show, you don't get to pay your bills, you don't get to do your stuff, normal stuff. So that was our money. So he sat down and he saw, this guy is actually hurting. He decided, let me do something for them, as it's actually a good step because it's a first step. It's a first. Since all these things started, I think he's the only president who in their stories are Sani, and you really appreciate him for that. Two, another thing that artists have been fighting for is to get our own ministry. As you know, right now, artists, we are under Ministry of Sports and Culture. So that's why it's becoming hard to like actually differentiate between artists, as in who's an artist, who's not, who's a painter, and all that you get. So I guess that's why, because it's been accumulated into Ministry of Sports and Culture.
Thank you so much for that, Kenzo. And just a little bit of a personal question there. You've received some money. Would you care to share how much it is? I mean, there's speculation.
No.
There's 5,000 between 7,000.
No. Let me say, if I'm to ask you how much you get for how much you paid, like your salary, I'm sure you'll be skeptical telling me your salary, right?
Right, that's true. So now,
so this is practically like my salary.
Right, that's your salary. Moving on, I want to sample some questions here before we get back to Mr. Karani. Rather, not a question really, but some comments from social, some of the artists out there on social media. We've got Kate Actress, who said, "Why is there so much bile about this? Please make me understand. I know so many artists who are almost sleeping hungry or houses closed because of this pandemic, yet you still turn on your radio or TV and they put a smile on your face. Ama labda wewe si wa locals, mimi niko sawa, and I thank God and will continue to entertain. But najua wengi wanahitaji this help. Let's be human." Thank you, Mr. President. That was her comment. But then Willie Pose has a little bit different comment or sentiment to say. "I said it here. Thank you, Mr. President, for reading my letter and responding within such short notice. Fortunately or unfortunately, you've just directed the money to the same people that have been paying us peanuts. What we want to know is, what we want now is transparency. They should tell us how they intend to distribute the money, what system these boards use to pay us. They should know that we have our eyes on them, and this time tutakuwa nao kwa hiyo meza tukifanya maamuzi pamoja. My fellow artists, actors, presenters, comedians, producers, DJs, learn to speak up please. Mtakufa njaa juu ya uoga ama kujipendekeza. One more thing, let's unite. Remember, with unity, we are unbreakable and even stronger. A big thank you to all our supporters. It's because of you, ndio tuko hapa. May God protect you all. So now, this question before we take a break is directed to Mr. Karani. Just kindly, could you perhaps share with us, how do you calculate the money? Exactly how much is paid and to whom it's being paid? Do you have an idea of, how this is being done as at right now?
Okay, here at CAMP, we have a distribution policy. And the policy states 50% of all corrections will be distributed scientifically. That means it's pay for play. Once you have the number of plays, and then you get your share. Then we also have the other 50% as general. In general, we have we divide into 25-25 each. And that general, the 25% goes in investment. Remember, we are producers, and we have to acknowledge the work that you have done, because you don't work for yourself only, you work for other people. You produce other artists. So there is a 25% for investment and a 25% that is given generally to every member. So nobody goes home without a coin, but at the same time, the figures vary depending on how you've worked. So we like to emulate the work that have been done.
Bona, are you happy with that? Do you think that's very clear on how it's being done?
I would like to interrogate the system actually. I don't know what system they're using exactly. It's a good thing because digital monitoring is something we've been pushing for and fighting for every time, for fairness in distribution of the money. So, for example, I'm never comfortable about the general distribution. I'm all about merit. So, if per play, if you've been played 100 times, the song, you put in work, you have a hit song, it's been played 100 times on radio or on TV or wherever, you deserve to be paid money for that 100 times play. Okay? So when you tell me, when Mr. Karani says 50% is general distribution and 50% is scientific, why can't we do 100% scientific? That's part of my question. And then maybe you can throw in 20% to the ones you're saying for investment and and the rest. I want to say something towards what Willie Paula said and what Kate has said. Unfortunately, in this country, we are also suffering. We are also in the COVID-19 era. We are in those times. We have mouths to feed. And the bail that is coming out from the 190 could be understood a little bit, just because this country has always disrespected and put the artist at the bottom of the food chain. You see? Yeah. So you think and you feel like, no, these people don't deserve this. We work for this money. And the problem is we've been fighting for our royalties to be paid for so long. I am glad the presidency is actually listening. And he's not just listening, we've been engaging the presidency. Yeah? And for him to come out is because he's seen the plight. You know, I have friends who have family right now are jobless. I run a record label. I have 4 artists sat at home waiting for their monthly allowances. Yeah? No shows, gigs are cancelled. So as much as Kenyans think that it's a gift from the president, this is money that artists have earned through the years. Unfortunately, it has not been, before has not been distributed. And now they are system, and it's an opportunity for the CMOs to redeem themselves.
Yes.
Right. Yes, I can see Kenzo is in agreement. But before we continue this discussion, it's time to take a short break. And when we come back, we'll pick it up from there and get more answers.
My name is Sujata Kotam Raju. I'm the National General Secretary of Hindu Council of Kenya. Namaskar to my dear sisters and brothers. Now this is the time everyone will have to take the responsibility to fight against this virus, not to spread further in this country. If at all, if you want to go out, maintain the social distance. Avoid going to the enclosed areas like supermarket, temples, churches, and any religious functions. Avoid shaking your hands and hugs, any form of physical contact. You can just say namaste. For more information, dial 719 or *719 hash. Kamesha Corona.
For more inquiries, please email ads@tv47.co.ke or simply call us on 0748 205 604.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for choosing to stay with us right here on TV47. Remember, the hashtag for tonight is Friday, and you can be involved and engage in this discussion. We're talking about the 100 million shilling dose. And so Daniel Ndebede, our reporter from Kisumu, prepared a package on the lamentations and some of the frustrations from backup artists and backup singers all the way in Kisumu. So let's take a look at that and get back to our discussion.
Huko kinaya cha wasanii kutengewa kitita cha pesa takriban shilingi milioni 200 kikiendelea kuacha Wakenya wengi vinywa wazi, hisia mseto zinazidi kutolewa kufuatia hatua hiyo. Mwenyekiti wa wanaocheza ala za muziki na wale wanaowasaidia wanamuziki katika shughuli zao kaunti ya Kisumu, Charles Odhiambo, ameelezea hofu kuwa fedha hizo huenda zisiwafikie.
Tulisikia jana ya kwamba wanamuziki ama artist watapewa 200 million. Na sisi kama wanamuziki wenye wanapiga muziki ndani, hatujasikia chetu itakuwa namna gani. Kwa kila artist wanakuwa na wapiga muziki watu 5. Mtu wa guitar watu 3, mtu wa drum set na mtu wa piano. Sai hao wote hawana kazi.
They should have a concern towards us, and they should take care of us, because we are in need of that money because of this crisis that we are in right now.
Kulingana na Odhiambo, amesema takriban wasaidizi 200 kaunti ya Kisumu huenda wakahadaiwa na wasanii iwapo mpangilio kamili wa kutoa pesa hizo hautabuniwa.
Hapa Kisumu kwa secular music wako 95 wachezaji muziki. Kwa gospel we have 120 wameajiriwa ndani ya makanisa. Sasa hii hakuna mahali wanaweza kuenda because hiyo kazi ndio walisomea. Hakuna kazi walisoma. For now inakuwa difficult sababu ukienda kwa huyo atakwambia hajapata pesa na atakwambia jina yake kuna pale kwa hiyo registration yeye ndiye aliregister. So wewe utakuwa tu hivyo. Unalala tu nje na watoto wako, unakaa kwa nyumba bila kulipa kodi.
I believe every gospel artist or I do gospel, so I believe every gospel or a secular musician has got instrumentalists, and our major concern is how is the government going to also cater for these instrumentalists, because I believe at least each musician or artist has got some guys working behind.
Daniel Ndebede, TV47, Kaunti ya Kisumu.
Right, thank you very much for that story, Daniel Ndebede. And just before we talk about some of those frustrations, I want to get back to Mr. Karani. And actually earlier on, a question from Bonai was, why doesn't 100% of the money, or even at least, 100% of the money be scientific and not 50% general and 50% scientific, and then another percentage be investment? And also, this scientific method, can it really be explained to the layman? Because on research, I've seen that it's a method called logging, but people don't know what that is. So perhaps, Mr. Karani, you can shed a little bit more light.
Maybe, okay, to start with, we are getting somewhere. We started from giving more of general distribution as opposed to scientific. We were at 40, we are at 50, and now we have signed an MOU with 60% scientific. So we are rewarding someone for his labor, because probably you have many songs, but they are not doing anything. You're not doing well in the market, so you end up getting money just because you worked on a number of songs, but market-wise they're not earning. So to make sure that you get a reward for you, we are going towards that scientific, and we'll get there very soon. Because right now it's 60, I don't see or 85 or 70 or 80 between that plastic, but we also provide it to the fact that some of our members may not get things when you go 100% scientific, and it will be a disaster when you have members who don't get even a coin. So just a token of appreciation for being a member, and the fact that you have music, we still consider a general distribution whatever amount it is, but maybe a smaller percentage of the general distribution. That's my take.
Yeah, a question to you, Mr. Anthony.
Yes.
Right now you've spent, Bona amekuwa kind enough akasema he's received 7,000. If he comes to you and asks for that dog, how you reached that amount, would you provide it?
Yeah, of course, yes.
Why do you have to make us guys come and ask for it? Yet you can just send it to his email after umetuma pesa.
Yeah. I can tell you, like, in this instance, we were given 2 days to distribute. We couldn't have prepared the statement for each person.
So if I may ask, if I may ask, who gave you those 2 days to distribute it? Zame go missing. Hello? Anyone? We're still there?
All right. I think there's a little bit of a glitch with the connection right now. And as we get back into that, I want to sample some more of the comments from social media from the artists. And we want to see what, comedian Terrence actually had a very interesting comment to say that, hello, government, please direct my money as an artist to assisting in fighting this pandemic and the needy Kenyans who can't put anything on the table because of their current situations. Hashtag prioritize first. Very interesting comment. And then I've got King Kaka also, who's also commented and said, hello, government, please direct my money as an artist to assist in fighting this pandemic to the needy Kenyans who can't put anything on the table. Very similar, actually. And it's very interesting that many artists are even taking their monies and directing them towards the needy Kenyans. But is this to say that the artists already some of the artists what are receiving is enough? Now, before we get back in, because I can see the connection is in back, I'd like us to listen to a call that came in earlier on, and we were able to capture it from a concerned citizen who had something very peculiar to say about this topic. So perhaps we can listen to that. Thank you, Director.
I think it's a misplaced priority because right now, what Kenya needs is enforcement in the health sector. Doctors should not be paying rent right now at all. Health workers should not be paying rent. Even if it should be waived for like the next some few months. And then once the whole COVID thing is over, I beg, pay the musicians as much as you want. Yeah? I'm not saying wasilipwe because they're also hustling and all. But right now they need to focus on feeding the people who are in the villages and can't do their normal diki barua. Basically, it's a totally misplaced priority. Instead of garnering food for tough times which are coming, because I am so sure tougher times are coming, wanalipa musicians. Okay, yes, musicians will sing for us on our TVs or on our phones or on our what. How many people will be having TVs but then ama watakuwa wameuza kila kitu ndo waweze kukua na chakula? I don't know, do you get? Ama how many people will be at a point of still being able to buy bundles coming shortly? Not very many people. It will be right now it's a misplaced priority. They will get paid. They should get paid, yes. But right now that's not the emergency. Honestly.
Thank you very much for that. That's very interesting. Concerned Kenyan says that how many people will even soon be able to afford the televisions and pay money for bundles to get the entertainment? And apparently it's a misplaced priority to be paying the artists now, and perhaps after the pandemic, that's when the artists should be paid as much as possible. But for now, the focus should be on the people who are in the medical sector, the front line, and even those who are very needy in the rural areas. So now I can get back to my panel if they can actually hear me, and just comment a little bit on what this particular concerned citizen has in mind. What are your sentiments towards this? Because you too are Kenyans, and you're artists for that matter. So how do you feel about this? Perhaps I can start with Kenzo before I get to Bonai.
Yeah, okay. First of all, we understand, but our fans have to realize that not all artists are making it big. Not all artists have hit songs outside there.
not all artists are making that big money that those big artists in quotes are making it. We have artists who are like the same thing they're experiencing, it is the same thing that most of us artists are facing. So we understand that maybe the time the president said all these things, it might not be might not have been the best time, but
right.
They have to understand that we are human beings too. And let's say they don't pay me that, they don't pay, for instance, artist X a certain amount. Maybe that artist was expecting, had a couple of shows that were cancelled due to the pandemic. How is that artist supposed to pay for his rent, let's say, for his bills, to buy food for his family? You understand? As in, it's a thin line, because you understand them. It's a very thin line because you understand our fans. They're thinking, we artists, all of us make money. FYI, not all artists make money. We have the same artist. Wale, how many artists wamekufa na tumewafanyia matanga, tumewachangia?
Right. Yeah, sorry to cut you short, Kenzo. I also want to hear the sentiments of Bonai regarding the same. I'm sure they might be similar, but don't you think there is a valid point there? While the president is directing certain monies towards artists, then there are those who are extremely needy at this point, and perhaps even they don't have anyone who is watching out for them.
Okay, I want to start this by actually making things very clear. There is a misconception. The president has not given us money from the taxpayers' pocket. No. These are money that duly owed to artists as royalties. Okay? Especially the 200 million. And this is something he directed in January. So that should continue regardless. And this should not be brought in at the president has given the artists money. No, we've not been given money.
So that's a correction to what that's a correction to what Mr. Karani had even said, that it is a gift. So indeed, it's actually your right.
It is a correction. Okay, the 100 million is debatable. The 100 million is debatable, but from my understanding, there's 20% of the sports fund that is set aside for the artist, musician, and the actor. Okay? Now, coming back to the 200 million, because we're talking about figures that seem so much watery. No. In fact, today, and what King Kaka has said, and any artist out there, it is by your own volition. If you feel like you want to channel your money towards helping the needy, that's up to you. That's a good thing to do. For example, today is my birthday. It's a birthday to me. So, from the money that I received from Frisk yesterday and Camp today, I actually went online, put a video out on Instagram, and asked people to identify families that need shopping and need to eat. So today, on my birthday, from the money, all the money that I got from Camp and Frisk, I have fed 5 families. Okay?
Fantastic.
Now, that is my own volition. But you cannot force me with money that I have earned through the years to give away to a pandemic. No, the government is cushioning every sector of the economy.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
There's 40 billion out of that to cushion. Why is the 100 million getting so emotional just because it's going to artists?
Right.
No, the banking industry, their tax relief, the manufacturing industry is being cushioned. So everybody is being cushioned, but for some reason, there's so much attention towards, money for the artists.
Right. Kenzo, just to cut you short, first of all, happy birthday. And this is directed to Mr. Karani. Many artists seem to have lost trust in the existing bodies. And so what measures can really be taken to ensure transparency and consistency in these payouts?
Well, maybe they what is happening at the Afocam. If I talk on behalf of, we've been transparent in our distribution. We've done it throughout. Like Now, last week, this week we are doing a distribution. Last week we did a distribution of the money that were remaining after the audit was done. So, well, people are difficult to sometimes make realize, but with time, we are going to get there. People will start honoring and respecting institutions that work diligently for everybody. We are just selfless in our undertakings.
Mr. Karani, what channels are you using to pay these artists? Is it M-Pesa? Is it bank account? Why one method vis-a-vis the other? Mr. Karani?
Okay, most of the time we use M-Pesa, but it depends on the instructions of. Yes, I'm saying. Hello, you can hear me?
Right.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Right. I think we have an issue with the internet connectivity at the moment. So we will be back, of course, hopefully to sum up this discussion. But for now, let's take a short. Actually, we prepared an interview for you and a discussion and a short entertainment package for you from an artist, an up-and-coming artist who is a Kenyan, but he's a francophone speaking from Congo, if I'm not mistaken, and his performance is quite the act. So take a look at this, and when we get back, of course, we'll be able to finish up this discussion and usher in the weekend. Hello and good evening again. So this is another really exciting part of this show where we get to speak to some artists and some celebrities and people in the showbiz industry to really talk to us about their craft, and we get to know a little bit about them. So in studio with me, I have an artist from Central African Republic who goes by the name of Hybrid. How are you doing today?
Doing good, you?
Fantastic. Really good to see you. You look good and relaxed and fresh.
You too look
yeah,
good,
how's your day going like today?
Kind of, a little bit boring.
Yeah?
Yeah, but then actually this is the, exciting part of the day.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
talk to me about your music. Tell me exactly what kind of genre of music you sing, you do, being that you've been in this field for a while.
Actually, right now I'm trying to create, the kind of music that will represent hybrid. But then in general, I do pretty much everything. And people ask me this question a lot. Why do you? Because when you go on my Instagram, you will find a lot of stuff, rumba, Afrobeat, Afropop, pop music. I tell them, actually, music to me is like a woman. And, hip-hop, pop, Afrobeat, those are different parts of the body of a woman.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, you can't say you like the eyes but not the nose. Or you like the mouth or the lips but not the other parts.
Yeah.
So that's how I see music. But then I'm trying to create a kind of hard trap hip-hop.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Who is Hybrid? If someone wants to really know you and they've never met you before,
Yeah.
and they hear your music but they don't know who you really are. So who can you say you are?
I can say I'm a young, upcoming artist from Central African Republic. My government name is Masanga Joan.
Masanga.
Yes,
All
Masanga
right.
Joan.
Yes.
And actually, I'm here to last, and I'm here to do great things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you end up in this field of doing music? I mean, has this always been your passion, your interest? At what point did you decide that you were going to be an artist?
Actually, I started off as a dancer. I was dancing, and I have an older sister. She's doing music, and she does
Yeah.
Roomba, actually.
Okay.
And before, when I wasn't into English things, we were singing songs from Celine Dion. We didn't understand anything of this, but then the vibe and the music was good, so we were just into it, and we liked it. And after that, I was like, okay, why can't I? Because I had a good voice, and my sister was like, yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I ended up, into this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, right before we get into any more questions, I want
Yeah.
you to do us a freestyle, something that you top of your head, something that you have created probably, or you can create right now, and just show us what you got. Yeah.
Okay, freestyle. Okay, this is out of one of my songs. Okay, this song is called Basement, actually, because I see myself as, coming out from the basement.
Right.
So this is how it goes. We got juice in the basement. They never taste what we're cooking. I'm still in the kitchen, cooking some hot shit. All these people, they don't know what we're going through. They don't know my craft. They don't know my music. All they know is Masanga. All they know is hybrid. Just the picture, but nothing else.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Was I sensing a little bit of nervousness in your voice?
Yes.
Well, that's good, that's good. I see.
Yeah, but actually when you're nervous, it means that it's serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you. So what are really your plans? I mean, now you're in Kenya and you're from CAR.
Yeah.
And you've been able to see that there's differences in the audiences and fans really receiving your music. So do you find that the fans here in Kenya more receptive of your music, or they're more welcoming, or do they have a hard time? How have you found that
Actually, here they're more welcoming because, you know, my country is a French-speaking country.
Yeah.
It's true, you know, they welcome me just because I'm, you know, from the land. But then it's hard for them because all my things are, you know, in English.
Yeah.
I rap in English, I sing in English, so it's kind of difficult for them to grab it. But I do my best to give them this vibe, you know. You know, sometimes you listen to something you don't understand, but then the vibe brings you, you know, to the dance floor, and you're moving without even knowing.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
Right.
I just try to give them,
And who is your icon? Who do you look up to and you consider this artist, you know what, I just want to be like this person, or even better?
Honestly, I don't have one.
Really?
Yeah, I really.
Oh, okay.
Because I told you, I listen to everything.
Right.
So if I was to pick one, that would be very difficult. I listen to everything. Some, you know, like someone like Juice WRLD.
Yeah.
I like his music, but not everything.
All right.
I like 2, 3, 4 songs, and then I move.
Yeah.
To another one, I like 2, 3, then I move.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think is the most unique thing about you as an artist and your music and what you do, the work that you do? What makes you stand out?
Children and you like only one. It's
okay. Having no, but you know, you can have a lot of children and there's only one that really always is closest to your heart.
No. No, actually to me, I love what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And you know, you see, sometimes you love what you're doing, but people don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, that's how it goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's been the hardest thing for you as an artist, being in this industry that you went through, and probably not a lot of people knew that that was a challenge, or it was something that really defined your moment or defined your whole career in music? Like, it was a really huge thing, it was a challenge, or it made you really question yourself that a lot of people might not even know that you went through?
I think it's the only thing, it's like rapping or singing in English. Yeah, I think that's the only thing, because people are like, why are you doing this? why you from a French-speaking country, but then you're doing, you know, stuff in English.
Yeah.
And you need to have, like, your first market should be home.
Yeah,
and I'm like, yeah, that's true. But then, okay, I have a question for you. Do you know any artists from Central African Republic?
Well, now you. I know you.
You see, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So I wanted to change the whole dynamics of the music in my country.
Right.
Like, not following what people are doing, because some people are so stiff-necked that they keep doing the same thing.
Yeah.
They keep doing the same thing. They keep heading up, you know, at the same spot.
Right.
But then they keep going back and choosing the same path again.
Yeah.
So to me, it's not really that. And I had, you know, this love for English that, you know, brought me into changing, you know, totally.
Yeah, but you also find that there are very good artists out there who, you know, sing in their local dialect and their local language, and somehow they still manage to penetrate the markets, even though we don't know what we're singing. I mean, you even look at West African artists, sometimes the words they're saying, we don't know what we're saying.
Yeah, that's
singing
true.
Along.
Yeah, that's very true. Just because, you know, they have people behind them, pushing them, but that doesn't exist in my country.
Speaking of people who are behind them and pushing them, do you think that as an artist, you've had enough or not enough support of the people that are necessary to get you onto the next level and then
I
the
think
next level?
not enough, but then we get in there.
Yeah.
Not enough, but then we get in there, because it takes a lot of confidence,
right,
and it takes a lot of trust for them to be like, okay, we want to push you out there and get something out of you.
Yeah. I just want to find out before you perform for us
Yeah.
your song, one of your latest songs. I just want to find out, can you do something for us in French?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, if you want something in French, then I think I will sing.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Je n'ai pas besoin, je n'ai pas besoin de temps pour t'aimer. Je n'ai pas besoin de l'opinion des gens pour t'aimer. Je n'ai pas besoin de l'opinion de tes parents pour t'aimer. Maman, je vais te marier. Maman, je vais te marier. Dans les jazz au Kwembi un amour. Maman, je vais te marier.
Nice. I love that. I love it. What were you saying?
Actually, all I'm saying is that I don't need people's opinion, or
Right.
I can't wait for people's opinion before I love you.
Yeah, fantastic. Absolutely beautiful. We think you have a really good voice.
Thank you.
And yeah, we definitely wish you the best.
Thank you
And
very
so
much.
now we're about to get to that time when we see you perform and do your thing.
All right.
So I'd like my sound team to actually play us some music, and then you can actually perform for us one of your songs. Which one are you going to perform?
It's called Abouta.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, I released another one after this.
Yeah.
It's Basement, but then this one is Abouta. I released the video in October last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is about?
Yeah. Abouta, it's all about telling people that I'm about to do great things. Yeah, I'm about to do great things.
Yeah.
And this new year, it's like, I make it or I don't, that's all.
For sure. All right, he's about to do great things, so let's take a look at that.
Hi.
You're on the stage. Yes.
No. I'm about to ball like James. I'm about to shoot like Steph. I'm about to call like Pablo. I'm about to score like Nato. No.
Amazing panel. And so as we come to an end, we want to do something that surprises our guests all the time. We're doing a quick celebrity challenge. So I'm going to challenge you with a few questions. Are you ready, gentlemen?
Tuende.
All right, twende kazi. So Kenzo Matata, you're first. Ni upcoming artist mgani amekublock, Kenzo? Ni upcoming artist mgani amekublock?
Hey, honestly, sina copy.
Ati nini?
Honestly, I have no idea, because most of the time,
Yeah.
I don't really shughulika with who's following.
Yeah.
I just shughulika with what I'm doing online,
Uh-huh.
and maybe try just to get myself engaging, engaging my fans online. So most of the time,
Yeah.
yes, I try to mingle with my fans.
Yes.
But the time for like trying to see who hasn't followed me and all that.
Yes.
It's
You don't do that. Oh, what about blue ticking? Do you have any that has blue ticked you? You've inboxed them and they just haven't replied you back.
Sema tu hawa wakubwa, ningewapasha hapa hadharani, ningetaja majina. Wanasema wadogo, hawa wakubwa. Wako kibao, lakini anyway wadogo. Not necessarily. Consider right now I have a kid, so I have a family. So
yeah,
most of the time it's either I'm playing with my son.
Yes.
Trying to write. Or just talk to my son's mother.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Now, Mr. Karani, what has been your worst experience in your position? What has been your worst experience in your position?
In my position as the chairman of CAP, maybe the worst thing has been mostly when we pay people and they really complain a lot. Because and they feel like maybe money has been eaten. We've eaten their money, and all the time you are being labeled as thieves, and you feel like, oh no, this is not what I asked for.
Yeah.
But then you still have a duty, and you have to persevere and make it right for them.
Fantastic.
That's what we do. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Bonai, which artist have you has ever been too extra around you? Which artist was too extra around you?
Extra meaning?
Extra.
Mapezo.
Yes, Kenzo, elaborate. I can hear you there.
Mapezo. Actually,
wacha PR taja jina.
No, P Square walikuwa wanajisikia MTV Mama tukiwa Lagos, walikuwa wanajisikia sana.
Lakini hao naye wakatembea juu ya hewa.
Kweli. I see how you change the language there so that they don't hear that, huh? So, bonus question to Bonai. Which artist would you like to do a collab with?
Right now, top of my list for the rest label is Burna Boy. We're really feeling Burna Boy out there. Locally, we have a few collaborations coming from the record label at Decimal Records. I will not mention names, but yes, we are collaborating. Yes.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me in this discussion. Of course, you have been very instrumental in shedding light and answering the questions that many out there have wanted to ask. And so as we continue to still pursue this topic, you can always continue to engage with us on @TV47 and at Lucy_Riley. And I've been your host for this evening. That's Lucy Riley. Yes. Yes, go ahead.
Is TV47 compliant with the paying of royalties?
Sorry? Is TV47 compliant with?
TV47 compliant with paying of royalties?
All right. Yes. I think that question is very interesting. MCSK, of course, when royalties are being collected from any broadcasting body such as TVs, radios, of course, they have to say that they have played certain songs. And of course, yes. So as long as it's registered, then definitely it is we are among those who comply. And so thank you for that question. That's a good question. And of course, have yourself a good evening. Tonight is Good Friday and it's Easter. And up next, we are bringing to you a clubbing experience right at home with our host. That's Marcus Garvey Okello. And I'm glad that you could join us. And until next time, good night.
With every new week comes new adventures, fresh expectations, and new stories to tell.